What's going on, guys? So the Detroit Tigers made another trade today. Actually, in the last hour or so. I feel like Ken Rosenthal right now, and here's why. So I watched the Tigers game tonight. They win. And on Twitter, all of a sudden, I hear Avisail Garcia has been pulled from the game mid-at-bat. And I was like, okay, well, what the hell? So the Toledo announcer said that Avisail Garcia was just called up by the Tigers. Miguel Cabrera got pulled from the game by Leland, even though he wanted to come back in. I was like, oh man, is Miguel Cabrera going to the DL? This is not good. Not good at all. So I'm reading, and no one knows why the hell Avisail Garcia was getting pulled. Well, Boston and the White Sox had a trade going that Iglesias was going to go to the White Sox and another guy, and then the Red Sox would get Peavy. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. That's going off to the side, whatever. And I was watching Tigers Live. Leland never said anything about it. Nothing. Nothing was coming up. Why the hell Garcia was getting pulled? And Lynn Henning and Jason Beck both reported Cabrera's not going to the DL, and he's just day-to-day. So why was Avisail Garcia pulled? Well, turns out in the last half hour, when the deal was about to be official, I read that it was going to be a 3-team trade between the Tigers, White Sox, and Red Sox. So the trade is the White Sox get Avisail Garcia, Brian Villarreal, and Jose Ortega. The White Sox send Jake Peavy to the Red Sox, and the Red Sox send Jose Iglesias to the Tigers. Now here's what this deal means for the Tigers. It sucks ass we got to lose Avisail Garcia. I don't care about Brian Villarreal, he sucks. Jose Ortega, I liked him too. He had really good slider, really good curve, and he had a really good fastball. I'm not really happy about losing him, and losing Little Miggy is going to be a bit of a tough one to swallow because, what he did in such a short time. He was really clutch in the playoffs, and he came up this year. He did pretty well. But we got to look at this, take off the homer glasses, people. Let's look at this from outside organizational view. This whole biogenesis stuff, this is real, guys. All this stuff that these guys weren't going to serve their suspensions until 2014, and, the MLB was going to renounce it 3 days ago. It's coming to fruition. And Dave Dombrowski was put in a vice. He must know something we don't know, that Johnny Peralta, the MLB must have informed the teams that the players are going to suspend, that Johnny Peralta was going to get suspended. Because why is there any other reason why they would go out and get Jose Iglesias? So you look at this deal. The Tigers have so many outfielders right now. You got Nick Castellanos, who's going to be way better than Avisail Garcia. And then you look at the current outfield. You got Andy Dirks, Tuiasa Sopo, Don Kelly, Austin Jackson, Torrey Hunter. There's no room for Avisail Garcia up there, even in the future, because Torrey Hunter's up here for signed through next year as well. And, where the hell is Castellanos and Avisail Garcia going to play? So you had a lot of outfielders, and your bullpen arms, Brian Villarreal sucks. And losing Ortega, was a bit of a blow, but whatever, so be it. So losing Garcia hurts a little bit, but you had so many outfielders. Now here's why I like what we get in return. Obviously, right now, we had two options. We make a trade, or we go Danny Worth, Ramon Santiago, shortstop platoon. And that wouldn't have worked, because both of those guys suck ass. I'd rather see him trade for someone. This year, Iglesias on the air is hitting .330, has a .377 OBP, and he's slugging .410. In 62 games, he has only 30 strikeouts and 212 ABs, and he's walked 11 times. He has 1 home run and 19 RBIs. He's not a guy that's going to hit for a lot of power, and really his average this year is heavily inflated. He has an extremely high BABIP, but I don't mind losing the offense for Peralta, and here's why. Peralta, he is a guy that's a vacuum cleaner when the ball is hit at him, step to his left, a step to his right, and that's it. Going up the middle, he sucks. If he's got to make a foul play to his right, he sucks. He does not get the job done when it comes to rage. I am more than willing to sacrifice Peralta's offense to get a guy. I've been watching Iglesias' highlight videos of his defense over the last half hour. This guy can go to his left. He can go to his right. He can charge in off the bare hand very well. He doesn't have the strongest arm, but he's fast, and he's just got the range. Just wow. I've said over the last 2 years, if there's one thing I could change about the Tigers, it's its infield defense up the middle. Because you got your two cornerstones on the corner. You're not going to do anything with Prince and Miggy. Miggy's an okay third baseman, and Prince, I could play first better than him. I'm sorry, let's be realistic. He sucks with the glove. He really does. Victor Martinez has outplayed him at first, and he's only played like 3 games at first all year. But now you got up the middle. Infante, his defensive metrics don't show it, but I've saw him. He can play some second. He's got range everywhere. I've saw him. Now you got Iglesias, he's an elite defender. And along with Omar Infante, you just helped out Doug Fister and Rick Porcello. They should be buying Dombrowski a steak tonight. And this pretty much means that Johnny Peralta, he's not going to be a Tiger come next year because Iglesias is 23 and he's under team control for the next 4 years. So this pretty much means sign, seal, deliver. Here you go, Peralta. You're done after this year. You're not getting re-signed because you just got your shortstop of the future for Avisail Garcia, Brian Villarreal, and Jose Ortega. So I do like it like that about that part of the deal. You did lose Avisail, but you just got a guy who's making $2 million over the next 4 years. So he's extremely cost effective. He plays very good defense, and he's young. So really, losing Avisail isn't really that huge of a hit, even though he's a fan favorite. I know. I just spent $50 on an autograph of his. So you know, you can sit here and say I'm trying to hate on him, but really, you know, it's not extremely huge. But what it all comes down to, what really pisses me off, is that this is all Peralta's fault for getting in trouble with Biogenesis, for taking steroids, and buying it for Tony Bosch in the first place. Because his ass stays clean. We're not having this discussion right now. And Dombrowski wasn't in the position he's in the position now to do. So you get a guy that his average isn't going to be that high, guys. Don't get used to seeing 330 out of Iglesias. And he's going to hit maybe 1 home run every 2 years. He's going to drive in maybe 30. But like I said, with the way V-Mart hits, the way Cabrera hits, hopefully Fielder kicks it up a notch, and the way your top of your order's getting on, I'm willing to sacrifice offense for this guy's defense. Any day of the week. You're sure as hell up the middle. You got 2 great defenders up the middle, and you just help Cabrera out as well. And Porcello and Fister, like I said, they owe Dombrowski a steak dinner for getting a guy that plays defense of a caliber as Iglesias does. Because you watch, Tiger fans, my good friend Mike, who's both Sox Nation 2012, he was telling me, this kid can play any infield position very well. I was watching him playing third, short. I mean, this kid can play defense, and it's been something we haven't saw for a long time, or shortstop with an extreme amount of range like Iglesias does. So I project Jose Iglesias probably in the next couple of years. He's going to be on the Tigers for a while. He's our shortstop of the future now. He's probably going to be a guy that hits 250, 260. He belts out maybe a homer a year, drives in 30, and maybe steals 5 or 6 bags. But his defense for the long haul, you watch. You're gonna gladly take what this guy's going to give you. A league average OBP. And 260 hitter for what he does with the glove. Trust me, guys. It's going to suck to lose Peralta, and if we only lose him for 50 games, we get him back for the playoffs, and that's going to be it. But I like getting Iglesias. I like getting a guy with range. So that's all I got for you guys today. Sucks, like I said, losing Avisail, and I don't like losing Jose Ortega. But Brian Villarreal, I don't care about. But what are you going to do? They needed a shortstop because as it went right now, when Peralta gets suspended, the ball gets hit to short, there's no one there to field it. And Dombrowski had to do something. So I got for you guys today. Go Tigers.